Is living in Amsterdam really boring? From the standpoint of many Americans and those with the American spirit, Amsterdam can initially seem boring. In fact, the same stereotype applies not just to Amsterdam, the capital and the busiest commercial centre, but to the Netherlands as a whole. On the other hand, many others feel that the city is cool and they love it like that. These conflicting views beg the question, is living in Amsterdam really boring? You know what? On this matter, you've been appointed the judge. We appreciate the fact that everyone is entitled to his opinion, and we respect each one's right to decide on such matter. In this video, we'll try to present several contradictory opinions about living in Amsterdam and their reasons. It all depends. As said earlier, there are two sides to every coin, a head and a tail. Your description of the coin will be determined by which side of the coin is in your focus. In the case of Amsterdam, what some people consider boring is what others who see it in a more positive light describe as the beauty of the city. Whereas some can't wait to end whatever brought them to Amsterdam, others would do anything to extend their stay in the city or even find their way back there. For instance, someone from the US, while acknowledging some minor frustrations here and there in the Netherlands, might see that, in general, Amsterdam is great and much more civilized, more modern, safer, and has freer space. From his experience in Amsterdam, someone expressed the desire to become a full citizen, if he had his way. He mentioned other features of the city and the character of the Dutch living in Amsterdam. The pros and cons, perceived or real. To put all that in perspective so that you can find something to base your judgment on, let's consider some pros and cons of living in Amsterdam. Interestingly, this is how we'll do it. We'll show you what some reckon as a con and then show you how the positive angle to it. Strange interpersonal relationships. Some people have described the Dutch as very different, colder and unfriendly. If the people are truly like this, the city will be boring. The truth, however, is that the Dutch can cultivate good relationships and make good friends. It's just that their human relationships are quite different than the rest of the world. In Amsterdam, it takes a very long time for foreigners to integrate. At first, it may appear that there's no genuine care in the Dutch culture. But you see, the concept of integration in the city is that people must integrate themselves naturally, going through the process without any help. Strange? But once you understand what it means for people to talk when they aren't talking and smile when they aren't smiling, you find Amsterdam interesting. What you need is a better appreciation of the Dutch way. For those who understand this culture, it's a mark of respect. It's about not meddling in other people's affairs out of dignity for them. If you think of it, is that kind of easygoing life not desirable? Efficiency and productivity. Some people who appreciate more pleasantries at work consider the drive toward efficiency in Amsterdam as boring. Meanwhile, efficiency is believed to be key to productivity, and this is a way to gain as much as possible within little time and while spending much resources. That's why the Dutch are obsessed with efficiency. They can't tolerate a 5-minute train delay. It's a disaster in the Netherlands because they consider the totality of waiting time as something that could have been spent more productively. To those coming from a more relaxed setting, this makes the Netherlands boring. For instance, the lady at the counter has no time for a chat. She's required to have a certain speed and keep track of the articles moving past the scanner. Similarly, the doctor or nurse surely has no time for a friendly chat or pleasantries within the 5, 10 or 15 minutes max they're allowed to spend with each patient. If this is the norm, the Netherlands can be considered boring. There's no need for unnecessary human action, even in Schiphol Airport with your luggage. On phone calls, there's no need to exchange long greetings. It's straight to the point. Super high taxes. Well, this also has both sides. It depends on your inclination. We know everywhere tax is anti-human, but law-abiding citizens understand that it must be paid. In Amsterdam, the top tax rate is 52%. This is definitely high compared to the 40% rate in the US. This seems to suck, not so? Especially for those of us with higher income people, it can be unbearably exorbitant. For some, the difference in tax rates amounts to about $2,000 to $2,500 per month. But then, keep in mind what the extra tax is being used for. Don't forget that it's one of the things that make for better public transportation, cheaper college tuition, better public schools, healthcare, and many other things. Now, if you're living in the US or the UK, add up all you pay for those services to the supposedly lower tax, and you'll find that you may be about to break even from a net out-of-pocket perspective. But you may actually be somewhat ahead of the curve in the Netherlands. While taxes are higher in Amsterdam, your net out-of-pocket costs are about the same or lower. Life is generally easier, better, and less frustrating. You simply get what you pay for. So it's a point of poking fun at the guys who drive a Ferrari, laughing at him for paying too much for his car when you're driving a far cheaper decades-old Yugo. Is that really justifiable? Healthcare is a nightmare. This is a perceived con that is very common to analyses of not only Amsterdam, but that of the Netherlands as a whole. If there's any credence in this, then living in Amsterdam is really boring. Considering the speed and agility of medical services in the US, India and Israel, public healthcare might appear disastrous in the Netherlands. You have long wait times, inexperienced doctors, inattentive consultants and nurses, dearth of equipment. You know what? That's only in the perception of critics of Amsterdam. Is that the absolute truth? The fact is, we've not confirmed that the Dutch doctors are substandard. But in every country's medical sector, there are new doctors who must learn more on the job. That doesn't make them bad. There are highly experienced doctors in Amsterdam also. While there may be wait times in some cases, it's super easy to get in to see a doctor compared to other countries with tougher processes. Those needed surgeries and dental works are scheduled more quickly, and the process is easy, fast, efficient, and high quality. The best of all is that you don't have months and months of contending with doctors and insurance companies over how much they will cover, what they'll not, and how much of the cost is being pushed back on you. Truth be told, this is not uncommon in the US and the UK, and often leaves those who fall victim absolutely insane and frustrated. In Amsterdam, it never happens. You simply walk out of the doctor when she's done with you, whether you thank her or not. Who cares in Amsterdam? Your visit is done and you're out. No stopping to produce your insurance cards or make co-pays. But then, such consultation can lack empathy and loving kindness, which are at the core of medical care. Efficiency matters too much. Probably to save time and attend to as many patients as possible within the shortest time, the time for personalised attention in Amsterdam's hospital is too short. Yet, that reduces the wait time you experience in Ireland and other places. No free parking. There appears to be no such thing as free parking in Amsterdam because there's no free parking space. Even parallel parking in a back street without meters, signs, warnings or any indication fetches you a ticket. There's some mystery app, special gadget or some sign that you have to buy. In some areas, you need to have a sticker which doesn't cover your parking everywhere. If you make the mistake of assuming that you found yourself a free spot in an open parking space, oops, expect a ticket for anything between $100 to $150 when you get back. Seriously, does this not make for sanity in the use of roads, which is a public asset? Rather than seeing this as boring, does this not give you rest of mind that your car is safe? Again, this also has positive and negative sides. It's now time for you to judge. You've seen both sides. From what you've seen here or what you know, is living in Amsterdam really boring? Volunteer your comments, please. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell.